Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video we are going to discuss Karnaugh Map, K-Map, grouping rules. So let's get started. These are the total 8 rules that we are going to follow while making groups in K-Map. So these are very important that we should all know. So for making groups, because we might make some of the mistakes, the output expression might not be very minimal. So with this help of these rules, we can make minimal expressions of Boolean expression, output expressions. So let's start with the first basic rule, that is all ones in the K-map should be covered. So this is a very basic rule that we should follow in making the groups. So if you consider the two variable K-map, we are covering all the ones with the help of 2 in a group. So in the second K-map also we are covering all the 4 ones with the help of 2 groups. And the second most important point is that adjacent cells who are differing by only one variable can be grouped. So if you observe there, the variable A is the row wise, the variable B is column wise, so you should group only the adjacent ones. So if you see that 0 and 1 are adjacent to each other, so adjacent means the only changing in one bit only here. In the binary variables or in the K-map rules, the adjacency means changing in the only one variable. The corners are also variable in this K-maps because we are using the gray code. Gray code is also known as the unit distance code. So whatever maybe you pick up those two binary digits, those two will be adjacent if they are in the corners. So if you observe, we are also making adjacent to each other 2 groups, that is 0 and 1 position, 5 and 7 position. So those are valid, those are adjacent, and all ones are covering in that. That is very important point that we should know is the group that should contain only the 2 power of elements. So if you consider that is 1, 2, 4, 16, 32, these kind of elements can be allowed in each group. So if you observe, we can make group of 4, group of 1, group of 2. So here we can make group of 8 and group of 16 as well. But this is very important. We cannot make group of 3. This is not the valid point in K-map grouping systems. Next most important point is that grouping is done in square or rectangle shape only. So if you consider, we can have in group 4 elements. So yes, according to 4 elements we can group like T shape. No, we cannot make. So all the shapes formed in square or rectangle only. So we can form the groups like 3 groups like containing 2 elements in each. We can form like that, the second one. So this is the next point, that is overlapping of groups is allowed if you consider that. So there are 3 groups total in that. So overlapping 3 groups are overlapped at 5th position, that is allowed. So in the second one also, that overlapping is done at 1st position, that is allowed. So the 6th point is very important point, that this is very important, so that we need to keep this in mind while we are making the K-map groups, because wrap around in K-map means the corners are also adjacent to each other. Because if you consider in the first one, B bar, C bar and B, C bar. So if you consider only the B is changing. So because this is gray code, only unit distance code, so we can consider those are adjacent to each other. So 0 and 2 can be made as a single group, that is group of 2 elements. 4, 6 can be made as a group, and this can be made as a group of 4 elements, that is 0, 4, 2, 6, purple group. And the next one, this is also possible because group of 4 elements and group of 4 elements of dark blue color. That is also known as corner grouping, that is 0, 4, 2, 6. The last map present in this. So if you also consider this example, we can make group of 1 and 9 and 8 and 10, because these are corner groups. This is allowed, and this is also allowed. We can make group of 8 elements, that is 0, 4, 12, 8 and 2, 6, 14, 10. This is also allowed. So these 2 also allowed. So 1, 3, 9, 11 can be made as a group of 4 elements. 4, 12, 6, 14 can be made as a group of 4 elements. And if you also consider the second K-map, this is also allowed K-map, because we can make group of 4 elements in the corners itself, that is 0, 2, 8, 10. If you want more details about how we have to make output expression from these groupings, I made separate videos, so check it out. I am giving the videos in the description box, check it out. So this is the one of the most important point. So all corners are allowed? No. Some corners are not allowed. Those are restricted, because if you consider this thing, those 2 are not allowed. Or single corners 2, we cannot make group of 2 elements, because so the first one in the 8th position, that is A, B bar, C bar, D bar. So that is in the second position that we can consider A bar, B bar, C and D bar. If you consider there, that I have highlighted in red color, because that means those two variables are changing, that is A is changing, C is changing. So we should not consider that as the rule in the K-map. We should not group of two elements that. If you consider the second one also, that is the same situation, we should not group that because A and C is changing. Only one variable should change. I forgot to mention those are according to the SOP format I have written there, that is in the 10th position and 0th position. So next point is groups may be horizontal or vertical and cannot be diagonal. So if you observe the first one, that can be group of 8 elements, this is allowed, that is the vertical one. The second one is horizontal one, that is also allowed, group of 4 elements. So this group cannot be possible because this is the horizontal group. We can also verify with the help of the SOP formats. If you saw at the 5th position, we have one that is corresponding to A bar B, C bar D, and in the 15th position we have that A B C D. If you compare, two variables are changing, that is A and C. So this is not possible. We have changed only one bit so that we can consider that as a group, but this is not possible. The last and very important point, we should make our aim for the largest group. If you consider we have the group of 8 elements, we have group of 16 elements. If there is possibility of making 16 of elements in a single group, so make that. So don't aim for the smaller groups, aim for the larger groups, less number of groups. So less number of groups, larger the group. That is the main important point. Example, if you have the 16 elements, so you should not group like that 4 4. Always aim for the largest group. So if there is possibility, do that. So here we have possibility of making 8 to 16, so make a group of 16 elements. So if there is a possibility of 16 or 32, make that groups. Don't see for smaller groups, aim for the largest group and small number of groups. If a group contains, or we can simply say, if a K-map contain 4 groups, we can reduce the 4 groups to 3 groups. So only 3 groups will be the final output, not the 4 groups. I hope you understood this all 8 points. So do much more practice so that you can understand these points very much clearly. Thanks for watching up to now.